All right, so hopefully you guys talked about it. If you got lost, that's okay. I'm going to go over it line by line. So we know from the first line that Mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. So her lips aren't red. He's making a comparison. Coral is more red than her lips, so her lips are pale. Rosy lips were a sign of beauty in this time period, so not beautiful lips. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If anybody looked up dun, you would know from this time period that it's tan. It means like to have tan skin that's touched by the sun. So if a woman is tan in this time period, it's not because she went on vacation. It's actually because she works outside. And if you worked outside, you were not of the higher class. Women of higher class in this time period had very pale skin. They were kept indoors all the time. They were so dainty, they couldn't go out because Renaissance rules. So when he says this line, if snow be white, why then her breasts are done, he's not really talking about her skin or her frame or like her feminine curves. He's actually saying she's not a high class woman. She's pretty average. She's a blue collar girl, which is a very creative way to say that. But if you don't know the context, you might not have gotten that one, and that's okay. So fill it in under the translation. She's a working woman, or she has a job. However you want to frame it is fine. Then we get to line 4. If hairs be wires, black wires, grow on her head. So normally when we talk about good qualities of hair, we think voluminous, like soft, gentle, not black wires. So her hair might be really dry and not probably done really well. Kind of like mine right now as I sit here. Anyway, I have seen roses damasked red and white. If you didn't look up damask, this might have been tricky. If you've ever seen a rose that's white with red like spots or coloring throughout it, those are actually really rare, and that's what damasked means. So he says, I've seen roses, like the most beautiful red and white roses, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. So these two lines go together. He's making a comparison again, and he's saying her cheeks are not beautiful. Nice boyfriend, right? So then he says, and in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. So girlfriend needs some Trident, right? She does not have good breath. It's not nice. Now, these two lines go together as well, and the following two. So I'll give you the translation for the next two. It says, it's about her voice. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. So he likes to hear her talk, but her voice is not musical, right? It might be dry, it might be raspy or crackly. We don't really know, but we know it's not musical. And then he talks lastly, the last two lines of the first 12 go together. He says, I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. If you think about like doggy paddling in water, that's like you're treading water. So she doesn't have like a goddess-like walk. She's not graceful. She's certainly not a model. However, she's more of a treader. She's like heavy on her feet, and she is not a graceful woman. So if we look at your translation, her eyes aren't bright. Her lips aren't red. She's a working girl. She's got wiry hair, okay? She's got plain cheeks. She kind of smells like, as far as her breath, she's got some kind of voice that's not musical. And she walks kind of like, treads. Not necessarily the way you want your romantic partner to talk about you. But then we have the couplet. So this is important. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. So, his love is rare. What does that mean? That means that he truly loves her, that it's not fake, that he's not lying or deceiving anybody. And if you looked up belied, it means to give a true impression of something. So he says, my love is as rare as any she belied with false compare. Okay, so he's saying, my love is pure and true regardless of her flaws. And that's kind of cool at the end. So he admits that like he loves her for who she is. And if you think about it, that's kind of a universal theme. I'm sure you've even seen it in movies, right? We love people regardless of their flaws because, you can't help who you fall in love with. Also, we hide our flaws from each other a ton. We do a ton of work to hide our flaws from the people that we love because we don't want to let them down. So Shakespeare kind of nails this theme in this poem, which sounds at first insulting, but is actually really sweet. Tricky. It's a little tricky. So on the bottom where it says analyze, that's where you can fill in like the overall message, right? That he loves her regardless of her flaws, that, you know, his love is true and meaningful, etc. So you can fill that out. Hope that made sense. Your next task, if you flip in your packet, and I'm pulling your packet up on my laptop here, your next task, once you do, the sonnets, if you flip, it says pop sonnets, and it says we've spent the last few days using iambic pentameter. So if you, my mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun, coral is far more red than her lips red. The whole thing's an iambic pentameter, right? So we've spent the last 2 days looking at that, looking at sonnets, and now we want you to become the author, which is kind of exciting, I think. So you're going to do a pop sonnet. You're going to pick a song, any pop song. It could be a song of today. It could be like an 80s pop song. Like if you want to like, I don't know, We Will Rock You from the 80s. I'm thinking of some of your song projects from The Outsiders. Pick any song. And then you're going to rewrite the song in iambic pentameter. You can use the spaces below. So let's say you pick, I'm not super good with music. Let's say you pick Taylor Swift's Bad Blood because it's like a little bit old and I don't know that everybody would pick it. So the whole song is about her being in a fight with a friend, right? We've got Bad Blood, look what you've done, right? This idea of like, how could you, betrayal. These are the themes. So you're going to take those themes and you're going to write about them in the first 12 lines of your sonnet. And you're going to write 10 syllable lines, right? And then at the end, you're going to write your couplet, your 2-line subversion, okay? So we're going to spend about 25 minutes doing this. These are due on Monday. First thing when we meet, I want to see them. I'm really excited about them, so make them good. So we're going to give you some work time. And then we're actually going to switch gears a little bit. I have one more video for you. One more video for you. And then the sub is going to get you started on the activity. I'm going to come in and clarify it with the next video. And then you can finish your pop sonnet if there's still time in class. Okay. If it was a lot of information, I get it. I appreciate you guys following through. And I will see you in the next video.